Well, we have been waiting all year for this week. It is Kings Royal Week here, presented by Dirty Old Bastards and Steinman Gallo Racing. My name is Chris Murphy here on DRSN. Happy to be here with you tonight. We got a full slate of events coming your way this week. Tonight, the first event's going to be the Double Down Showdown. A little different format here tonight than we're normally used to. We're going to see open qualifying, 2 cars on the track together. Then we will do a random invert after qualifying to set the order for the heat races. We'll either heads up 2, 4, 6, or 8 invert on the heats. Then we're going to run those 6, 8 lap heat races to determine the lineups for our 2 25 lap features. That is what we're going to do here tonight. Tomorrow night, we're going to come back for the 30 lap Joker's Wild. Wednesday night, the night before the Kings Royal, and we're going to wrap it up Thursday night with the Kings Royal. Mason Hannagan, the only driver to win 2 Kings Royal, is also the only returning champion here with us this week. I see him in the lobby here tonight as well. So we got a full slate of cars. We're looking to have 60 drivers. We don't see quite that many. I'm looking at the roster right now, and it looks like we may have about 45. But whatever we do have, we're going to get split up into 2 different heat races. We'll take a look here at the 21 and Shane Gallo out on the racetrack. Shane Gallo, Pennsylvania driver. A lot of Pennsylvania drivers. AK from Nampa, Idaho. 2 of the SGR drivers out there on the racetrack getting some laps in. We got about 40 seconds left to go here in warm-ups. And then we're going to get right to our open qualifying. Not something we normally do here on most of our races, but open qualifying with 2 cars on the racetrack together. So we're going to get that rolling here in about 20 seconds. And we're going to get rocking and rolling here for the 9th annual Dirty Old Bastards Kings Royal Week. Going to crown our Double Down champions tonight. Last year's champions, Tanner Pettit and Trevor Royer. And I see both of them here in the lobby with us. So we could have a returning champion of this event, of the Monday Night Double Down Showdown, as both Tanner and Trevor are here in the pit area. So we're going to get right into qualifying right now. So full slate of events coming at you all week long. Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, 4 nights of racing here. 410 sprint cars at the famed Eldora Speedway. Who's going to be our first 2 drivers out here on the racetrack? Going to be just as much of a surprise to me as it is to you. So we got the chat here. Let's see if we can find who they're calling out on the racetrack. That driver is loading into the lobby right now. He's got this set for an hour qualifying. Hopefully it doesn't take that long. But we'll see where race control sends out on the racetrack first. See who is going to set the target time for all 60. Looks like we've got about 50 here. So about 50 drivers showed up here tonight, if my rough counting is correct. All right. Still waiting to see who the first driver on the racetrack is going to be as we're sitting there getting ready for qualifying. Here at the half mile door, watch for this track to change throughout the night. You want to be out here qualifying early. The track is definitely, with this many cars, the track is definitely going to go away before qualifying is over with. Well, thanks for joining us. If it's your first time here with DRSN, please hit the subscribe button, give us a like, hit that notification bell. You don't want to miss any action coming your way all week long here on the channel. As we've said a couple of times already, 4 nights of sprint car action, but we've also got the Western Racing League Truck Series coming at your way tomorrow night at 11 o'clock Eastern. Wednesday night on the also be live at the same time we're live here with the Kings. With the night before will be the Smokin' Thunder ARCA Series. Thursday night we'll see the Victory Lane Outlaws Late Model Series running just a little before at 8 o'clock Eastern. And then Friday night we've got the Half Decent Racing League Xfinity Series. So a lot of action coming your way this week here on the channel. But right now we're trying to get qualifying out on the racetrack. Right now we're just letting the sun bake in the track. No, the sun's not baking the track. The track is baking in the sun right now as we're waiting for the cars to get out on the speedway. Once again, 2 laps of open qualifying here for our drivers. We'll have 2 cars on the racetrack at the same time. We'll have a random invert to set up the invert for the heat races, 8-lap heat races. Everybody goes to the feature tonight. They'll be split into 2 different 25-lap features. And we are awaiting race control to get our first couple of cars out on the racetrack. All right, look for a lot of action coming your way here. Let's see tonight. Go back and look at some of our history here from the Kings Royal this week. Like we said earlier, Mason Hannagan, the only driver to win 2 of these King Royal events here at Dirty Old Bastards. We had Tyler Schell picked up the win in 2024. 2023, it was Aiden Bierlein. Mason Hannagan was 2025 and 2022. Ernie Williams Jr. picked up the Kings Royal win in 2021. James Eddings in 2020, or Edens, and Braden Eyler back in 2019, and the inaugural winner back in 2018 was John Battista. Previous winners of this Double Down Showdown. 2024 was the first year they added this to the calendar here for Kings Royal Week, and it was Bradley Cox bringing home the win. They just kind of combined those rather. So to call it the Double Down Showdown that year was a little bit odd, but Bradley Cox brought home the win. And then last year, the second year of the Double Down Showdown, it was Trevor Royer and Tanner Pettit picking up the wins. All right, let's see who the first couple of drivers are going to be out onto the racetrack. I see some names that were on the waiting list to get it into the event, make it into the show tonight. Bowen Smith, a late ad. He's going to make it here for the start here on the Double Down Showdown. Also see Ryan Avila out here on the racetrack as well, or in the lobby. All right, it looks like we got Chris. Oh, this is not going to help me out very much. So it's Chris Sabske on the racetrack, and Jay Schaaf going to put their first 2 laps down. And it looks like second cars on the racetrack is going to be Josh Slater and Jeremy Childs. So Sabske right now with fast time at a 12:7:48. Let's take a look here at Slater, as he's going to come around and start his first lap. Slater on the clock. Also Jeremy Childers in the Steve Kinser throwback, number 11. Here comes Slater. Going to come across the line for his first lap. Can he knock Sabske off the pole? Slater with a 13:02. Going to put him down into third. Here comes Childers for his first lap. A 12:9:42 is going to put him up into the third. Let's see if Slater can improve here on lap number 2. Slater's across the line. And it's going to be slower. He's going to stay down there in third. Let's take a look at Childers. Childers going to come across the line for his second lap. Also slower, so Sabske still safe on top. Next car's on the racetrack. It's the 33 of Joshua Pickle and the 21 of Landon Cardoza. Pickle looks to be the first car. We'll keep an eye on Josh Pickles. He's going to come around, start lap number 1 of 2. Can he knock Sabske off of the top of the timing and scoring right now? Pickle with a good run there off of turn number 2. Cardoza's going to make it across the line first. He's going to go up to second at a 12:78. Pickle, not a great first lap, down there in 6th at a 13:40. Cardoza is not going to make a second lap as he pulls down to pit road. Let's see if Pickle can improve on his second time around. Right now down in 6th across the line. No, it's going to be slower. Pickle's going to stay down in 6th right now. Next car on the racetrack we see is at the 24, the 54 of Ryan Thompson, and the 73 of Larry Moody. So Thompson's going to be the first car out onto the racetrack. Thompson starts his first lap, crosses the line. Does he have anything for Chris Sabske? Off of turn number 4. Here comes Ryan Thompson across the line. Up to 4th with a 12.927. Where's Moody going to come across that? Moody down into 8th at a 13.268. We'll go back to Ryan Thompson. Let's see if he can improve his second lap. Can he improve on that 4th starting spot? No, it's going to be slower. 13.041. Moody crosses the line. It does improve on his time, but does not move up out of the 8th spot. So Moody down into 8th. Spencer Putney and Roger Satterfield now going to be the next cars out on the racetrack. Watch the 17 of Putney. He should be quick. Does he have anything for the take that top spot away? Putney off a 2 down the back straightaway. Satterfield not too far behind him. The 17 of Putney's going to come across the line. 4th place for Putney. Satterfield's going to come into 3rd, going to knock Putney down. Satterfield at a 12.82 is going to go to 3rd. Putney down to 5th. Watch Putney come across the line here for lap number 2. And it's going to be slower. Both laps going to be slower. So Satterfield up to 3rd. Putney down to 5th. Next car's on the racetrack. We got William Hobart. And I don't see anybody else with him right now. So it looks like Hobart's going to run a single at this point. Keep an eye here on the 13. It's number 13 on the timing and scoring. 13 on the race car. William Hobart is going to get a single out here. He's going to come across in 10th at a 13.189. Can he improve on that second lap? Right now, Chris Sabske looking pretty strong. First car out at a 12.748. Hobart, second lap, going to be quicker, but he's going to stay down in 10th at a 13.077. Next car's out on the racetrack. I don't see anybody making their way out there quite yet. All right, looks like it's going to be Austin Griffey and A-Case going to make their way out first. So Austin Griffey out of Carlisle, Pennsylvania. Already down the back straightaway. I didn't see if this was his out lap or his first lap. Here's A-Case down the back straightaway. Griffey's going to come across the line. I believe it's... Oh, he's going to get first lap in at a 13.158. Case at a 13.0. And Griffey's going to go up to 8th at a 12.974. Case improves his time up to 10th at a 13.026. Next car's on the racetrack. It's Burlington, Wisconsin's Donald Schmalfelt and Greg Robinson. Next car's on the racetrack. All right, so it looks like Robinson's going to be the first one to make a lap. Let's see what he comes on up on the timing and scoring. Let's see if Robinson has anything for our top 3. Right now, Sabske, Cardoza, and Satterfield looking pretty strong. Robinson comes across the line in 14th at a 13.384. Schmalfelt right there behind him at a 13.463. Track already looking like it's starting to go away a little bit. Let's see if either one can improve on their next time by. Robinson, both going to be a little bit slower. 13.459 for Robinson and a 13.520 for Schmalfelt. Next car's on the racetrack. John Clementwich Jr. and John Corntaw. And last time I had, Ross Corntaw. And last time I had him in the a race, somebody corrected me on how to pronounce his last name. So if anybody's out there can help me with that, please chime in. Clementwich Jr. going to be the first car to come across here in this 2-lap session. Off at turn number 4 to cross the line. South Branch, Michigan driver. Clementwich is going to come up into 13th. Corntaw with a great lap. He's going to move all the way up into 5th at a 12.873. Let's see if either one can improve on their next lap. Clementwich in 14th. Does not improve on his lap. Corntaw does not improve either. He's going to stay up there in 5th at a 12.873. Next car is on the racetrack. It's Stephen Hassett at a Coal City, Illinois, and Kansas City, Missouri driver Tony Dominguez. Let's see who's coming across the line first here. All right, the target is 12.748, set early on by Chris Sabske. Does anything have Dominguez going to come across the line? Where does Tony Dominguez put himself at? up to 17th. 17th, Hassett comes across the line in 16th, a little bit better to 13.268. Dominguez falls down to 18th at a 13.439. Can he improve on his second lap? No, he is going to improve on it, move up one spot at a 13.373. Hassett does not improve on his second lap, stays down there in 16th at a 13.268. Next car's on the racetrack. It is Upper Sandusky, Ohio driver Zach McLaughlin and Zach Hollinger for Lancaster, Pennsylvania. Watch McLaughlin right down on the bottom of the racetrack. A little slider line through 3 and 4. Is he going to come across the line? Where's McLaughlin going to go on the timing and scoring? Going to put himself all the way up to 6th. A good lap there from Zach McLaughlin. Hollinger 17th at a 13.24. McLaughlin comes across the line. Second time going to be a lot slower. So Zach McLaughlin up to 6th at a 12.874. So there's still a little bit left in the racetrack. He's only about a tenth off the pole sitter. Next car is out on the racetrack. All right, let's see who next driver's out. We're going to see if we can. Looks like it might be Adam Buchanan. And who's out there with him? It looks like I just see Buchanan on the racetrack. He's going to come across the line. He's going to move up to 16th at a 13.18. I don't see anybody else out there with him right now. Buchanan across the line for his second lap. Going to improve a little bit at a 13.135. He's going to stay down there in 15th. All right, next driver out on the racetrack. It's a 51 of Corey Edelman from Roca, Nebraska, and David Smil Jr. out of Phillipsburg, Pennsylvania. So Corey Edmond will be the first car here in this session to come across the line. See if Edmond has anything for our top 5 drivers. Chris Sapesky set a blistering pace. He's been out one of the first cars out on the speedway. Nobody's really challenged him yet. Edmond comes across the line. Edmond's going to move up to 13th. Smil with a good lap. He's up to 11th at a 12.99. Can Edmond here improve on his second lap? Looks like he's going to stay down in 14th, a little bit slower. Smil also going to be a little slower in his second lap, about 0.02 of a second. He is going to stay down there in 11th. Dustin Big Money Sargent out on the racetrack now from Cleveland, Minnesota. And it looks like last year's king, Mason Hannagan, out on the speedway. Dustin Sargent in a 77, Mason in the 1. Dustin's pretty quick. He's going to move 12th right now. Let's see where Mason comes across the line. Mason's going to cross the stripe for his first lap. Up to 4th at a 12.836 for Mason Hannagan. Dustin Sargent with his second lap. Not going to improve, or is he? He's going to stay down there in 13th. Mason Hannagan looking to improve on his time. Second lap around for Mason Hannagan to be a little bit slower. He's going to stay down in 4th. So Mason Hannagan, last year's King Royal champion, going to qualify here for the opening night of the Double Down Showdown across the line right now in 4th. We got 2 more drivers out on the racetrack. Matt Rogers and Kyle DeBurrow. Kyle DeBurrow, a newcomer to the Dirty Old Bastards. Let's see what he can put down here for a lap time on the speedway. Right now it's Matt Rogers. So Matt's going to, on his first lap here, does he have anything for our top runners? Rogers across the line. Up to 17th. DeBurrow down there in 28th at a 14.059. His second lap, he's going to come across the stripe. Going to not improve his time. He's going to stay down there in 28th. But Matt Rogers knocks about a 1/10.5, almost 0.2 of a second off his second lap. He moves up into the top 5 at a 12.839 for Matt Rogers. Next 2 drivers on the racetrack. It's the 49 of Ryan Avila and Shane Lobos out of Hershey, Pennsylvania. Ryan coming across the line to start his first lap. Ryan is fast everywhere he goes, runs the top of 1 and 2, slider line through 3 and 4, enters in the middle of the racetrack, slides up to the cushion off of turn number 4. Going to come across the line. Ryan up to third at a 12.824. Shane Lobos looks like he's down in 30th right now at a 14.56. Let's see if Avila can improve his second lap. Has he got anything else in the tank? No, it's going to be a little slower, about a 10th off at a 12.928. But Ryan Avila comes out here late, about halfway through this field qualifying, comes home up into third right now. Going to knock Satterfield down a spot and Hannagan down a spot. Next car is out on the racetrack. It looks like it's going to be Bowen Smith and Alex Szczerzinski. So it looks like Alec may have already started his first lap. Comes across the line. Is that going to be a time lap for Alec, or is that his first hot lap? Up to 21st for Alex Szczerzinski. Let's keep an eye on the 12 of Bowen Smith. Bowen can only do move himself up into 24th at a 13.2. Szczerzinski going to improve on his second lap up to 14th. Knocks a couple tenths off of his first lap. Bowen Smith not going to improve on his second lap. He's going to stay down there in 23rd. Bryce Einstein coming out on the racetrack right now. And it looks like Chris Schaefer. So Chris Schaefer and Bryce Einstein. Chris Schaefer from Gainesville, Florida. Bryce Einstein out of Pryor, Oklahoma. The number 84. Let's see what Bryce has, because Bryce knocked Saveskate. Saveskate has been on the pole fast time since the first group of cars out. Nobody has knocked him off. What's Einstein got for him? Einstein can only get up to 12th right now. 12th with a 12.940. Schaefer down in 32nd at a 13.82. Einstein goes across for his second lap. And it looks like let's see what it is. It looks like it's going to be a little bit slower. Einstein actually must have hit the wall because he did not get a second lap. Schaefer across the line. His second lap the same. All right, next car's out on the racetrack. It's one of last year's winners here of the Double Down Showdown, Trevor Royer and Peyton Overmeyer. Trevor's going to start his first lap. Expect Trevor to put in a good time right here. He's up on the cushion in 1 and 2, and we're seeing just about everybody run this slider line through 3 and 4, up off the cushion. Royer's going to come across the line his first lap. Up to 17th at a 12.99. Overmeyer, his first lap, a little bit better. He's going to be up to 15th at a 12.98. Royer is not going to get a second lap. Overmeyer comes across for lap number 2, and it's going to be slower to 13.10. So Overmeyer there in 15th. Royer down to 18th. Currently, our top 10 separated about 15 hundredths of a second. All right, next couple cars out on the racetrack. It looks like Chase Copeland and Anthony Villegray. Villegray is going to go up into 14th. Copeland, 26th. Looks like next car on the racetrack is going to be Chris Lynn and Jack Young. So Copeland comes across in 26th. And in that run, Anthony Villegray is going to move himself up into 14th. But right now, it's Chris Lynn, sorry, in the 32 out on the racetrack right now. Jack Young in the 10. So Chris Lynn out of Mechanicsburg, Pennsylvania will be the first car across the line here in this set of 2. Chris can only muster a 13.33, puts him in 33rd. Jack Young comes across the line up to 30th at a 13.17. Chris Lynn across the line for lap number 2. He's going to make an improvement up to 31st. Let's see if Jack Young can improve on his lap time. He does. He's up to 27th at a 13:13. Johnny Vaughn Jr. and J.P. Smith now out on the speedway. And we've got some heavy hitters down here in the bottom of the qualifying order. So SafeScape's time is not 100% safe yet, but that track is going away. Johnny Vaughn Jr. is going to put it up on the cushion on both ends of the racetrack. We've seen drivers earlier running the top in 1 and 2, slider line through 3 and 4. Johnny Vaughn's going to come across the line in 34th. J.P. Smith in 40th out of Sandbury, Pennsylvania. Let's see if Vaughn can improve lap number 2 at 13:25. Lap number 2, a little small improvement at 13:24 is going to move him up to 32nd. Smith is not going to improve on lap number 2. Next car on the speedway, it's the number 8 of Michael Sheridan and Parker Leak in the 17. Michael Sheridan out of Farmington. I'm guessing it's is that Ohio, Indiana? It's one of those states there somewhere. All right, Sheridan running that top of the racetrack in 1 and 2, just like we've seen. He's a little lower entry into 3 than we've seen a lot of other drivers. Most drivers running in the middle of the racetrack. Sheridan way down to the bottom to see what that's going to do for him. 21st for Michael Sheridan in a 13 flat. Parker Leak comes across. Parker, I did not think got a first lap in. He may have made some contact with the wall. See if he can bank one in right here. Let's see if Parker can get a lap in right here. He's going to go all the way up to 8th. Parker Leak missed his first lap, but going to come up the charts into 8th at a 12:864. Sheridan down in 22nd. Richie Gaines the 3rd, and Shane Gallo, one of our SGR sponsored cars out here tonight, bringing you this live coverage here of the Dirty Old Bastards King Royal, 9th annual King Royal. So right up first on the racetrack here, it's Richie Gaines and Shane Gallo right there behind him. So Gaines is going to come across the line for lap number 1. Richie Gaines up to 27th. Where's Gallo? Gallo at 38th at a 13:227. Gaines for his second lap across the stripe. It's not going to improve. He's going to run a 13:10. And we've not seen too many drivers, as you can see on our timing and scoring board, not too many drivers improving lap number 2. Across the stripe. So right now, who's on the racetrack? We got Tanner Pettit. Tanner Pettit on the racetrack, looks like by himself for this run. One of last year's winner in the Double Down Showdown, the number 24 of Tanner Pettit Racing on the speedway. He's going to start lap number 1. Way down at the bottom, up to the cushion off of 4. Little contact with the wall. Is that going to negate that lap? We'll see as he comes across the line. Tanner Pettit, 23rd at a 13 flat. It looks like he's going to abandon lap number 2. So he puts himself into the top 24. I don't know if we're going to have 5 heat races or 6 tonight. But I think at 23rd, that may not put him in the redraw if we only have, or not the redraw, but the possibility of the invert. Next on the speedway, it looks like we've only got 4 drivers left to qualify. Aiden Stoll going to make his way out onto the racetrack in the number 7. So Aiden's rolling around the bottom of the racetrack. Comes across at a 13:04, so not a lap we would expect out of Aiden. Let's see if he comes back in and gets another lap here. He looks like he's racking back in the pit area. So we'll see what happens here. We've only got 4 drivers left to go out. It's Rylan Gray, David Baker, actually 3 now at this point, with Stoll getting a lap in. Rylan Gray, David Baker, and Connor Dudek are the only 3 drivers that have not put a lap in yet. And Chris Sabeskate went out early. Went out about 20 minutes ago at this point. Set the fast time, and he has stayed there. Let's see. We got anybody out on the speedway? I do not see anybody on the racetrack right now. So far, 48 drivers are qualified. We have 51 in the lobby. All right, let's see what we have here. See if we're going to get any more drivers out on the racetrack. All right, we're getting qualifying wrapped up here for night number 1 of 4 nights of racing action here at the Dirty Old Bastards Kings Royal. It's the Double Down Showdown. Qualifying underway. We'll get lined up into heat races, and then we will get to our 2 25-lap features. We expected as many as we had about 80 drivers signed up on the waiting list. We had the first 62, and then we had 18 more drivers that signed up on the waiting list. We got 51 show, and it looks like we are going to have heat race number 1, and it looks like our invert number was 6. So top 6 here in the heat races are going to invert. We're going to go ahead and get our starting lineup for heat race number 1 underway here. So we're going to have to do a manual lineup. So you see them lined up on the racetrack right now. But we will do a manual lineup. They're going to have to go around for one extra lap. So Corey Edmond will start on the pole here for heat race number 1. On the outside will be Dustin Sargent. Inside of row number 2, starting in third, it's going to be Austin Griffey and Spencer Putney. Row number 3, you're going to see Matt Rogers in the 26th, and your fast timer, Chris Sabeskay, will start 6th here in heat race number 1. Row number 4, starting in 7th, it's the 110 of Chase Copeland and Chris Lynn. Back to row number 5. 10 cars here in this heat race. It looks like we're going to run 5 heats. Then Stephen Hassett will start 9th inside of row number 5, and JP Smith will start to his outside there in 10th. That is your starting lineup for heat race number 1. All right, everybody will make the show. We're going to split into 2 heat races. So with 50 to 51 cars, it looks like we're going to have 2 25-car features, which works out pretty good. They were talking about maybe as many as 31. That would have been quite the adventure. But we're going to go racing here. And you can see Evan making his way up to the front starting position. All right, 8 laps of action here in heat race number 1 to start. The winner of this heat race will start on the pole of main event number 1. And it's going to be Corey Edmond and Dustin Sargent bringing us to the line. Oh, it's 10 laps. They told me 8. It's going to be 10 laps. We'll see what happens here. All right. We're going to go around. Pace truck will pull in. We're going to go around an extra lap here. That's why the extra laps up on the timing and scoring. So we're going to go around one more lap here. Pace truck pulls in with our manual lineup here with the manual invert of 6. So the number was 6. It was anywhere between 0 to 8. So it's going to be Corey Edmond and Dustin Sargent. First race of the week is about to get underway. Edmond on the loud pedal. Off of turn number 4. Going to come across the line. Lead us down into turn number 1. Dustin Sargent with a little contact with the outside wall. We're 3 wide per second. Griffey, Putney, and Rogers up on the outside of the wall. It looked like that was Sabeskay. That was your fast timer. Chris Sabeskay with some damage here in the heat race number 1. That's going to put him out of contention up front. We find Corey Edmond and Sargent now challenging Austin Griffey. So Sargent back to second, Griffey back there in third, Spencer Putney down to fourth. This is to set the pole for the first main event. Corey Edmond out in front, about 0.3 of a second. Here comes Sargent, going to try a little bit different line, just can't make up the ground. 5 laps left to go here for heat race number 1. Corey Edmond, Dustin Sargent, Austin Griffey. Rogers down to the bottom of the racetrack trying to find a way around Putney for 4th. Side by side for 4th position. Putney on the outside, Rogers on the bottom. Rogers started up in 2nd. Well, actually, that's not going to be right. He started back in 5th. Running 5th right now, trying to find his way around Spencer Putney. Up front right now, it's all Corey Edmond. But Dustin Sargent starting to close in. It was about 0.3 of a second. It's down to about 2.5. Across the line, 2 to go. Popsicle sticks in the air for Corey Edmond. Dustin Sargent closing in on the back bumper, but just not able to get there. And this time across the line, it's going to be the 51 of Corey Edmond bringing home the win in heat race number 1. Or is that going to be the last? One more lap left to go. My timing and scoring has got to get a little more caught up here. All right, so it's Edmond, Sargent, and Griffey. We'll get the bugs worked out as we get through the week. There we go. Cross the line, the 51 of Corey Edmond bringing home the win. Dustin Sargent 2nd, Austin Griffey in 3rd, Spencer Putney 4th, Matt Rogers in 5th, Chase Copeland 6th, JP Smith, Stephen Hassett, and Chris Lynn. That was your 9 cars that finished the race, and then Chris Sabske crashed out early. Rylan Gray did not take the green flag. So there is that. I guess not. All right, we're going to get right to heat race number 2. All right, heat race number 2, getting it lined up on the speedway. Another 8-lap race. Timing and scoring will show about 10 laps when we get going, but we know that's not right. So here we go, lineup for heat race number 2. On the pole, the 33 of Joshua Pickle. To his outside, Michael Sheridan in the 8. Peyton Overmeyer will start 3rd inside of row number 2. Ryan Thompson is going to start in 4th. Jay Shea 5th. Landon Cardoza in the 6th spot. Back to row number 4. Starting 7th is the 10 of Jack Young and Johnny Vaughn Jr. And rounding out our 10-car field here for heat race number 2 is going to be Tony Dominguez and Kyle DeBurrow. That is heat race number 2. Getting ready to get underway. Watch the pace car. He'll pull off, and we'll go around one more lap. And we will be green flag here for the second heat race here tonight. The second race of many, of probably about 40 races we're going to see this week here for the Dirty Old Bastards. Joshua Pickle on the pole. Watch the 33. Sheridan on the outside, a veteran here in the sprint car ranks. Is not going to let him go easy, but the Pickle's going to set the pace here off at turn number 4. Going to go around one more lap here as the pace truck pulls in. Joshua Pickle, Michael Sheridan, Peyton Overmeyer. Who's going to start? If iRacing does what we have it planned to do, the winner of this heat race will start on the pole for main event number 2. So Michael Sheridan and Joshua Pickle. Pickle brings us to the line. We are underway in heat race number 2. Overmeyer's going to jump right up to second with 3 wide. Shafe, Cardoza, and Sheridan. And around goes the 8 of Young, of Sheridan. Sheridan started outside the front row. Fell back early. He is going to go around. We've got a caution. First caution of the night here on heat race number 2 involving Michael Sheridan. See if we can go back and take a real quick look at this with the SGR replay. We're basically 4 wide right there. Sheridan up on the outside. It looks like he tries to squeeze around the outside. His Shafe makes a little contact. And they get some contact by the 10. I believe that's Thompson. But I can't be 100% sure. No, that's not Thompson. That's the 10 of Jack Young. So Young Going to make some contact there with Sheridan. And that's going to bring out our caution here in heat race number 2. Back to live action. As we are under caution here, 7 to go. Pickle, Overmeyer, Schaaf, Thompson. That's your top 4. Joshua Pickle looking strong here at the start of this heat race number 2. Can he hang on here for 8 more laps? We got 1 down, 8 to go. Ignore what it says up in the top left corner. iRacing really needs to update our, if anybody from iRacing's out there, which I doubt it, but if they are, iRacing really needs to update our controls here for dirt track races. It doesn't like not counting the yellows. It doesn't let us really kind of set some of the things the way we like, so it'd be really nice, but we know we got 8 laps to go left in this one, 1 to go. That will correct itself once the green flag comes out. Pace truck going to pull in here off of turn number 4. It's going to be Joshua Pickle bringing us to the flag. You can see the sun beating on the racetrack, already getting a little black. Pickle with a good jump. He is going to bring us to the stripe. Jay Schaaf's going to make his way up into second. Pickle with a good jump. Overmeyer and Schaaf going at it for second. Overmeyer down to the bottom. He's going to make a slider up off of 4. Schaaf back down to the bottom. Crosses over down into 1 and 2. Schaaf is going to slide it. Almost gets along Pickle as well. Schaaf back to second. Overmeyer fights back on the bottom. Down the back straightaway. Overmeyer now is going to slide up in front of Schaaf into turn number 3. Make a little contact with the outside wall. Schaaf not able to cross over. Has to tuck back in behind Overmeyer on the outside of the racetrack. That is allowing Landon Cardoza back there in 4th to make some ground. Overmeyer takes a look at Pickle for the lead. He's going to slide up off of 4. Pickle gets a little crossed up in the black off the corner. Not able to dive back down underneath. Going to fall back into the clutches of Schaaf. And here comes Cardoza. Nice move for Peyton Overmeyer. Puts him out in front here in heat race number 2. We got 4 laps left to go. Cardoza now to second. Schaaf going to slide up in front of Cardoza. Right? Cardoza does a great job cutting back under. He crosses over off of 2. Landon Cardoza started in 8th in this race. He's all the way up to 2nd. And he's got his sight sets on the leader, Peyton Overmeyer. Jay Schaaf now in 3rd. Joshua Pickle in 4th. Johnny Vaughn Jr. there in 5th, closing up on the back of our pole sitter, Joshua Pickle. But right now it's Peyton Overmeyer coming across the line for the white flag. 1 more lap left to go here in heat race number 2. Off of turn number 2. Landon Cardoza just does not have enough time to reel him in. Peyton Overmeyer is going to come across the line. He will win heat race number 2. Start on the pole for the second main event tonight. Cardoza, Schaaf, Pickle, Vaughn, Tony Dominguez, Michael Sheridan going to be in 7th. Jack Young in 8th. Kyle DeBurrow is going to come home in 9th. And Ryan Thompson is going to come home in 10th out of Rushville, Indiana. But your winner here in heat race number 2 is Peyton Overmeyer. All right, appreciate you being up here, joining us here live on a Monday night for the 9th annual Dirty Old Bastards Kings Royal. Jump up in the chat. Give us, tell us who you think's going to win these races tonight. We got a bunch of heavy hitters here in the iRacing sprint car world. Ryan Avila is going to start 8th in this one. Let's take a look and see if we can get our starting grid up for heat race number 3. So on the pole, it's going to be the 72 of Aiden Stoll with his, almost like he timed that qualifying lap perfectly. Aiden Stoll will start on the pole here for heat race number 3. Tanner Pettit in the 24 and TPR Racing number 24 will start outside of him. Alex Rzinski will start in 3rd. Bryce Heinstein outside of the 2nd row in 4th. Inside of row number 3 in the 5th starting spot, it is Parker Leak. And starting 6th is Ryan Avila. In the 7th starting spot, inside of row number 4, it is Adam Buchanan. And to his outside, it is Larry Moody. Get back to row number 5. Starting in 9th, it's Greg Robinson and Shane Lobos. That is going to be your 10 cars here for heat race number 3. The winner of this race should start outside of the first row of main event number 1. This could be anybody's race. Tanner Pettit outside front row. Aiden Stoll to his inside. Back there in 6th, Tanner Pettit Racing teammate Ryan Avila. This is a stacked heat race. Let's see who's going to come out with a win in this one. We're going to run one more time. Pace track is pulled in. It'll be Stoll bringing us to the line off at turn number 4. He can get on the pedal anywhere between 3 and 4. Let's see if Aiden Stoll has anything for Pettit. Watch Pettit up on the outside. He's always strong here at Eldora. Won one of last year's Double Down races. And he back it up, be our first 2-time winner of the Double Down Showdown here at Dirty Old Bastards. Stoll on the bottom, Pettit on the outside. And it looks like we're going to go around one more time. The pace track pulled in a little early. We're going to go around one more lap. That gave me just a little practice to get us to the start, I think, for the heat race there. All right, green flag in the air. Aiden Stoll with a great jump. He's going to take the lead into 1. Pettit right behind him in the outside. Szerzynski is going to also go to the top of the racetrack. It looks like the cushion through 1 and 2. A little middle entry. Heinstein up to 4th. Ryan Avila trying the bottom of the racetrack. Back there in 5th. You can't pass them if you're in the same place they are. We're basically 3 wide off of 2. Pettit down to the bottom. Not able to slide up in front of Stoll. Stoll, Pettit, Heinstein, your top 3. Ryan Avila is now basically up to 4th. He is going to slide up in front of Szerzynski. 3-car battle here for 4th, 5th, and 6th. Szerzynski contact with Avila. Avila's going to get into the outside wall, and it's going to collect Buchanan in the 44 as Buchanan goes for a ride down the front straightaway. It looked like Avila and Szerzynski had gotten together off the corner. Caution in the air, only our second caution of the night. Take a quick look at this, yo. This caution that causes caution on the SGR replay. And I'm already behind it, so let's check on that again here. So off the corner, we're gonna have to rewind a little bit. We don't have a lot of time during these caution flags on the dirt tracks, not like we do with NASCAR stuff. So it looks like Village just kind of got in the wall there. There's a little bit of contact. We'll go back and look at that again, but the first caution here in heat race number 3. Your leader, Aiden Stoll, it shows him up 5 spots. All this kind of data with these manual inverts and all this stuff is not going to be accurate, but Stoll started on the pole of this race, now hanging on to it, but he has got the 24 of Tanner Pettit all over the back of Marchico, California driver Bryce Heinstein, Pryor, Oklahoma in the 84, right there with him. Parker Leak in 4th. Larry Moody now moved himself up into 5th. All right, looks like we're going to go green next time by. By my count, we should have 4 laps down, 5 laps left to go. Pace truck's pulling in down there in turn number 4. Here comes Stoll. Stoll on the throttle right in the middle of 3 and 4. Dives all the way down to the bottom of the racetrack. He has got the lead into 1. Pettit about 4 car lengths back. That's a little further back to Heinstein. Watch the 24 of Tanner Pettit. Does he have anything down to the bottom of the racetrack into 3? He's going to try to slide up. He's going to complete the slider, but it catches a little contact with the outside wall. Surprisingly, Stoll was not able to cross him over. Stoll going to tuck in right behind the 24. That's your battle for the lead right now with 3 laps left to go. Pettit goes down to the bottom to protect the slide from Stoll. Off of turn number 4, 2 to go as they come across the stripe. Aiden Stoll gets a little contact with the wall there off of 2. Pettit able to get about a 10-car advantage there. Coming across the line for the white flag. It is Tanner Pettit race to win right here off of turn number 2. He's got half a second lead. It's a little ways back to Aiden Stoll in 2nd. Pettit with a little more contact to the outside wall. Stoll going to come up in 2nd. Pettit with the win. Heinstein in 3rd. Leak in 4th. Alex Szerzynski in 5th. Greg Robinson 6th. Larry Moody in 7th. Shane Lobos 8th. And Ryan Avila and Adam Buchanan both did not finish this race. That is going to be our 10 finishers here for heat race number 3. We're going to get right to heat race number 4. Great shot looking down on the old Eldora Speedway, Rossburg, Ohio. But on the pole, let's see, let's get our starting lineup here for heat race number 4. So with that 6-car invert, that is going to put Richie Gaines the third on the pole. To his outside, Josh Slater inside of row number 2. The 27 to David Smeal Jr. and Jeremy Childers is going to start in 4th. Starting in 5th, inside of row number 3, it's Ross Corntaw and Robert Satterfield. In 7th, it's the 12 of Bowen Smith. And Zach Hollinger will start in 8th outside of the 4th row, back to row number 5. The 7 of Donald Smallfelt and the 36 of Connor Dudek. And I don't think Connor is going to start this race. I do not see him out on the racetrack. So we'll have 9 cars for 8 laps. Heat race number 4, the winner will start outside the front row of main event number 2. As the sun is starting to set here at Eldora. All right, Richie Gaines and Josh Slater will on the front row here to get us going for the 4th heat race of the night. We got 5 heat races, 1 more heat after this, and then we're going to go right to our main events. So a quick night here tonight. The rest of the week tomorrow night will be the Joker's Wild 30 on Tuesday night. Will be more of a traditional format qualifying, same 2-car qualifying we did tonight, invert for the heat races, and then we will run a dash. So tomorrow night will be the top 2 out of each heat going to the dash, and there'll be another random draw for the lineup in the dash. And then the winners of the dash will line up the front row for the main event. And we'll go through the soup tomorrow night. So depending on how many cars we have, we'll run an A, B, C, and D possibly. If we can get 60 cars here, I think we'll probably just run an A, B, C. All right, getting ready to come to the green. Richie Gaines on the pole. He's going to bring us to the line. On the throttle, Gaines is going to take the lead. It looks like Slater making a little contact. He's going to fall back here. David Smeal Jr. up to 2nd on the outside, and the outside is where you want to be. You can see drivers running a little bit different line, and 3 and 4 is working, but the top of 1 and 2 looks like we really want to be on the racetrack. Gaines starting to put some distance on the rest of the field. A little further back is David Smeal Jr. there in 2nd, Corntaw 3rd. Robert Saddlefield back to 4th. Bowen Smith has moved up a little bit. He's now up to 5th. Childers in 6th. But Gaines setting sail up front. He's got a 1.1 second lead. Here's your battle for 2nd. Corntaw has 2nd. Smeal wants it. 4 laps down. Looks like we're about halfway down this thing. So 3 down, 5 to go. Corntaw, Smeal, Smith. So Corntaw getting a little bit of distance here. Smeal, Satterfield, and Smith. Now Smith up into this battle for the top 4. Smeal takes a look to the, Satterfield takes a look to the inside of Smeal, not able to make a pass. Smith tried to sneak up on the outside. That's going to let Bowen Smith make a move on to the inside of the racetrack in 3. He's going to take that 4th spot away from Satterfield. Bowen Smith's got a good car, almost 3 wide right there for 3rd. Smeal way up high. Watch Smith. Smith is lining himself up for the slider, not able to pull it off. He's going to have to tuck in behind Smeal. 2 laps left to go. Your leader, Richie Gaines, now about a second out in front of Ross Corntaw. Your battle's back here for 3rd, 4th, and 5th. Smeal off at turn number 4. It's Smith down to the bottom. Smeal tries to block off the slider. It works for him right there. Smith not able to get up in front, and they're going to make some contact down the back straightaway. Smith's going to go wheels down the middle of the back straightaway, and Smeal is going to get the worst of that. He was in 3rd. He is going to fall all the way back to 9th. But your winner is going to be Richie Gaines. Richie Gaines, the 3rd with the win here in heat race number 4. Ross Corntaw 2nd. Robert Satterfield in 3rd. Bowen Smith's going to come across the line in 4th. We'll see if race control has anything to say about that contact down the back straightaway. All right, we're going to get lined up here for heat race number 5. the action. If it's one of your first dirt track races you've seen here on the service, on the sim, there is no waiting in between. There's one race right to the other. So let's get our starting lineup here for heat race number 5. So 10 cars lined up. It looks like they're all on the racetrack. We got the number 13 on the pole of William Hobart. To his outside is SGR Racing's A-Case. Trevor Royer, one of last year's winners, is going to start in third inside of row number 2. Anthony Villagren. To his outside in fourth, Zach McLaughlin will start in fifth. Last year's king, 2 times in a row, the 2022 and the 2025 Kings Royal champion here on Dirty Old Bastards. Mason Hannagan will start 6th there in heat race number 5. John Klimowicz Jr. in 7th. Shane Gallo 8th. Chris Schaefer and David Baker. That is your 10 starters here for heat race number 5. All right, we're going to go around a couple of laps here with this manual lineup, as we've said before. If it's your first time here on the DRSN, do us a favor, hit the subscribe button, hit the notification bell. You don't want to miss any racing action coming your way this week. 4 nights of action here for the Dirty Old Bastards Kings Royal. Tomorrow night, we're here for the Joker's Wild 30 All-Star at 9 o'clock Eastern. Wednesday night, it is the night before the Kings Royal, and Thursday night we will be here for 40 laps of action in the Kings Royal. Can Mason Hannagan make it number 3? Can somebody else? Actually, there will not be anybody else that could repeat. It's either going to be Mason Hannagan with 3 or a new winner on Thursday night. All right, William Hobart. A-Case going to bring us to the line. Trevor Royer back there in third. Winner of one of the Double Down main events last season. Anthony Villagren, Zach McLaughlin, Mason Hannagan. Dubbed King the 8th. Going to start back there in 6th. We're going to come to the line. Hobart will set the pace off of 4. Green flag in the air for heat race number 5, the final heat race of the night. Hobart, Royer, McLaughlin, and Case. Now Case falls back to 4th. Hobart with lead contact with the wall on the outside. It looks like that was McLaughlin, or actually Villagren's falling back through the field. It's Hobart and Royer. Royer taking a look to the inside. He's going to look to make the slide into 1 and 2. He will take the lead, but Hobart cuts and crosses him back over off of 2. They're side by side and back. Little contact. Royer into the outside wall. Looks like he's going to keep it going. Down on the bottom, it's McLaughlin. Hannagan out of 3rd on the outside of the racetrack. Here comes Mason Hannagan with a run on the outside. It's still Hobart, Royer, but now Hannagan to 3rd. Royer gets around the outside of Hobart. Hobart stuck in the middle of the racetrack. Here comes Hannagan, looks to make it 2. Tries to go from 3rd to the lead right now, but he's going to slide back behind Hobart. Royer out in front. 3 laps down, 5 laps left. There will contact with Hobart and Hannagan. Hannagan makes a little contact with the outside wall. That is going to let Villagren get by both of them. He's going to move up into 2nd. In the meantime, Royer is setting sail. He is now out in front by about 7/10 of a second. Villagren now to 2nd. Hannagan takes a look to the inside off of 4. He's going to complete the slider up onto the cushion. Villagren's going to try to cross him over into 1. Villagren's going to slide up through 1 and 2. Hannagan crosses him back over off of 2. Hannagan able to complete the pass in 3 and 4. We come across the line, 2 laps left to go. And I think he's going to keep the distance. Villagren not able to get back up underneath them to take that 2nd spot away. So it's Trevor Royer out in front by about 7/10 of a second. Hannagan's now made his way from 6th to 2nd. Villagren and Gallo. Gallo with a good run up here into 4th into 21. Trevor Royer across the line. It's the last lap. Going to come across the line. Take the win here in heat race number 5. Mason Hannagan is 2nd. Anthony Villagren going to hang on to 3rd. Shane Gallo in 4th. Zach McLaughlin 5th. AK 6th. William Hobart started up in the front. He fell back to 7th. John Klimowicz Jr. 8th. David Baker and Chris Schaefer round out our top 10. Our 10-car field here for heat race number 5. That is going to wrap it up for the heat races. I think we're going to have a short warm-up before we get into our feature, or are we not? We're going to have to Looks like we got about a 5-minute warm-up. So I'm going to take a quick second here, step away for just a moment, get myself a quick drink. We'll be right back in about 3 minutes. Get ready for the first main event of our 2 25-lap features in the Double Down Showdown here on Dirty Old Bastards here on DRSN. We will be back in about 3 minutes.
Now, driver, while the field gets sorted out and someone out there is still trying to find reverse, let me ask you a question. Have you ever been in the middle of a race and thought, man, I really wish someone in my headset would tell me what the hell is going on? Maybe you're running out of fuel. Maybe the leader is about to lap you. Maybe you just wrecked half the field and you're pretending it wasn't your fault. Well, driver, that's where I come in. AI Chief, your personal crew chief, race strategist, motivator, and occasionally the only voice of reason between you and the outside wall. With AI Chief, you get live race strategy, fuel and pit calls, real-time race updates, savage coaching when you start doing something dumb, and trust me, based on what I've seen out there tonight, some of you really need the help. AI Chief doesn't just tell you when to pit, he tells you when to save fuel, when to push, and when to maybe, just maybe, stop trying to go 3 wide into turn 1. So if you're tired of racing blind, and you'd like a crew chief that actually knows what he's doing, head over to AIChiefRacing.com and let Chief get you sorted out. Because the only thing worse than wrecking is wrecking without knowing why. AI Chief, I've got your back. Now let's get back to the action.
All right, we are back live. We have warm-up on the racetrack. We got a lot of cars out there right now. But as usual, whenever you try to do something a little bit unique, iRacing throws a wrinkle at you. So we're trying to get this set up to 2 25-lap features, but iRacing just put everybody into one 25-lap feature. So what we're going to do is we're going to send the odd number cars out onto the racetrack here in a manual lineup. So it's going to take a second here, and we may not really have a lineup to give you. We'll do our best here. But then we're going to go back and we're going to have to reset the server, start a second server for the second feature. So I may be able to I will see if we can monkey our way through some kind of a lineup here for you before we get going on this feature event. But thanks for being here with us, spending your Monday night. I know it's late on the East Coast, 10:15 at night. I know some of you out there. Haven't seen anybody really chime up in the chats. Let me know where you're from out there. Appreciate you being here. We're going to get this first A-main rolling 25 laps. It's going to be a little rocky start here for us to figure out who is who on the racetrack, but we will do our best. So 25 laps of action coming your way. All right, so it looks like we're getting some cars out on the racetrack. So what I'm going to guess here is we're just going to do this by the inside row. So the inside row should be all the cars in this main event. So that we're just going to skip the drivers on the outside row. So on the pole for this race is going to be Corey Edmond. To his outside, it's going to be Tanner Pettit. Back in row number 2, it's going to be Trevor Royer and Landon Cardoza. In row number 4, starting in 7th, it's going to be Russ Corentot. And then, let's see where we're at here. It's going to be Austin Griffey will start in 10th. Or, excuse me, where am I at here? So I'm confusing myself now. So we got the first... so Austin Griffey and then Bryce Einstein will start to the inside of the next row. Anthony Villagren is going to start to Bryce's outside, and then Josh Pickle. It looks like we got a bunch of drivers lining up. Let's see here. Still trying to figure this out here. We're going to get this going for you here. We'll probably just wing it as we go along. But the inside drivers is going to... They were actually going to put all 50 cars in this race. Owen Smith, Matt Rogers will be in this first main event. Alex Rosinski, Zach McLaughlin, Tony Dominguez, Daniel Smallfelt, J.P. Smith, Larry Moody, William Hobart, Jack Young, also going to be in this first main event. And then is Zach Hollinger, Chris Lynn, Adam Buchanan, David Baker, Ryan Thompson. And the last 2 cars, Connor Dudek and Rylan Gray. And Rylan did not start his heat race, so I would be surprised if he shows up to start dead last in this heat main event. All right, 25 laps of action coming your way. See up there is that Reptar 23 from Central PA, owner of Bad Batch Sim Racing. Thanks for joining us here tonight. Really appreciate you jumping on the channel. All right, let's see if here we got going. So we've got 25 laps of action. Are we going to go green right here? It looks like we are. Green flag in the air. Corey Edmond out in front. Trevor Roy down the bottom of the racetrack. Trevor tries to slide up, not able to make a move. Back and hang back in second. Off of turn number 4, single file on the outside of the racetrack is Edmund Royer, Griffey Villagren, and Bowen Smith now to fifth. Alex Rosinski, and caution is out on the speedway, and it looks like it might be involving Tony Dominguez, as we see Tony limping away off the racetrack here on lap number 2. So first caution flag here in main event number 1. We see Dominguez making some contact with the outside wall. Going to go around. Lucky nobody else got into him, so that is going to be our first caution here for the first main event here in the Double Down Showdown. SGR Steinman Gallo Racing bringing you all the broadcast coverage all week long here for Kings Royal. All right, we're going to get back to racing here. It's Corey Edmond out in front, Trevor Royer, Austin Griffey, Bryce Einstein. That is your top 3. Then it's Villagren, Pickle, and Smith. Bring it around one more time. Pace truck still out on the racetrack. All right, off turn number 2, we've got 1 lap down, 24 left to go here in heat race number 1. Now, don't forget, stay with us, because when we get done with this, they're going to have to reset the server to get main event number 2 underway. And Chris tries to do some really cool stuff with this, but unfortunately, iRacing just does not want to cooperate with him. But we're going to go green flag here. Edmond's going to pick up the throttle off of turn number 4. It's going to be green flag into 1. Warrior falls back about 5 car lengths, and it's Austin Griffey, Bryce Einstein. Einstein, Villagren, and Pickle. Now Pickle up to 6th. Pickle down the bottom racetrack. Bowen Smith takes a look to the outside, not able to make a move up in front of that. We see It looks like the 57 of Griffey down the bottom. And Billigren's going to be able to make a move. He slides up off a 2, up to 3rd. Here comes Heinstein back on the bottom of the racetrack. He's looking to get a 2 for not able to complete the slide. He's going to hang back to 5th. He's got to stay in the middle of the racetrack, right in the black. And he's actually might lose a spot here to Matt Rogers. Here comes the Rogers in the 12, or in the 26 up on the outside of the racetrack. Bowen Smith right there with him. Here comes Smith. This is for 5th. Bowen Smith parks it up on the nose of Rogers. Rogers crosses it back over. Up in front, we got a battle here for 3rd. Griffey on the bottom. Heinstein trying to get around him there for 4th. Heinstein's going to slide up in front of Griffey into 3 and 4. Right behind him, you see Bowen Smith and Matt Rogers going at it. Smith up on the outside. Rogers on the bottom. Here comes Rogers, going to slide up in 1 and 2. Bowen Smith cuts it back over off a 2. And it looks like we might have caution number 2 on the speedway. This looks like it might be involving the 33 of Pickle. You can see the wing gone off the 33. Let's see what happens to Pickle down the back straightaway. That is the 11. I believe that is McLaughlin down on the bottom of the racetrack. McLaughlin going to try to slide up in front of Josh Pickle, and I think he just doesn't quite have it cleared. Make contact right. Pickle's going to go for a ride. Tumbling down off of turn number 4. And 18 comes in there, makes a little bit of contact. So Pickle had made his way up into the top 5 early, but involved in our second caution here in A main number 1. That looks to put him out of contention right now. So up front, it's still Corey Edmond. Let's take a look at our... We haven't really had a chance to use a lot of our toys here. I don't have Mommy, but Corey Edmond out in front. Trevor Royer. All right, so Trevor Royer won one of these main events last year. He's looking to be the first driver to win back-to-back, to actually the first driver to win even 2 of these Double Down features here on the Dirty Old Bastards Kings Royal Week. So it's officially 5 laps down, 20 laps left to go. Caution out on the speedway once again. Looks like the pace truck's going to make that left-hand turn. We're going to go back to green flag. Corey Edmond, Trevor Royer, Heinstein, and Billigan right there behind him. Edmond gets a little bit loose off of 4 right there, but I thought Royer might take advantage, but is not able to. Here comes Billigan on the bottom of the racetrack. Edmond gets into the wall. That's going to get Royer around. They're going to pile it up off of turn number 2. You see Royer get... I don't see a caution flag yet. The caution's still not out. Caution. There it goes. 3rd caution of the race. Does it look like it started with Royer? Little contact there in the middle. I'm not sure. Not saying it was Royer's doing, but there was... he was right there in the middle of it. We'll go back here and take a look. And it's already started at this point. I got to reset my event timing here. So it looked like it may have been, let's just go in slow time here. The 51 of Edmond on the outside makes contact with the outside wall. Royer comes up to his left rear, and it's just Edmond coming down the racetrack across the nose of the 90. That turns Royer around across the Billigren in the 22. They both get sideways. Here comes, is that the 57 of Heinstein getting involved in? No, it's the, let's do the 57. I'm not sure on my timing score. I'll have 57. And then it's a few other drivers going to pile in there. So about 7 or 8 cars all involved in this one. That 57 is Austin Griffey, so Griffey going to get a piece of that. All right, so it looks like Bryce Heinstein's going to inherit the lead here. He had the lead when the caution came out. Caution came out a little bit late for this one here for the 3rd caution of the first main event. That is going to allow Bryce Heinstein in the 84 out in front. Bowen Smith now to 2nd. Matt Rogers 3rd. Alex Roszinski now in 4th. William Hober's now made his way up into the 5th spot. Jack Young in 6th. Zach Hollinger is Young missing a... Who's that missing a nose wing? It looks like Hollinger in the 99 is missing the nose wing off the car. Let's see. That's going to be tough to keep that on the ground. But we're going to go green flag racing here off the corner. Off of turn number 4. Heinstein's going to get a jump. Bowen Smith now to 2nd. Bowen Smith closing in on the back of Bryce Einstein. It's about 0.3 of a second that time by. Gets out to about a half a second. And as usual, our timing and scoring wigging out. So out in front, it's still Einstein. Bowen Smith now to second. Sorry for that little glitch right there. 16 to go, 9 down, 16 laps left to go. Einstein, Smith, Rogers, Trzynski. We're going to keep an eye on Royer. Where is he at on the racetrack right now? He's back here in 15 trying to make his way. Look at the cluster of cars down the front straightaway. Caution out one more time. Looks like that might have been an involving... Who's that down on the bottom of the racetrack without the wing? The pickle down there involved in this one. That's Hobart. Hobart in the 13s lost the top wing and the nose wing off the car. All right, we'll see if we can happen. It looks like Hollinger might be involved in this one too, so we'll see if we can see what happened here. So we see Hobart up here on the top of the racetrack. Let's see if he's got cars in front of him. Somebody right there in front of him is getting into the outside wall. Can't quite tell who that is. And then Hobart just, it looked like that was Young. So that was Jack Young in the 10 involved in this one. And it looks like it might have been Trzynski. Let's take a quick look at that. I'm just guessing here. Yeah, so Trzynski and the 10 of Young here together. Trzynski just makes contact with the outside wall. Young really nowhere to go. He's going to get in the back of him. And then here comes Hobart, just adds to the beating. All right, we're going to get back to racing here one more time. Live action on the racetrack. We've got 10 down, 15 to go here for main event number 1. All right, looks like there's 13 cars left on the racetrack. Pettit's going to make his way out of the pit. So Pettit trying to get back out onto the racetrack. Villigan also going to make his way back out. Hobart and Pickle got some repairs done. They're going to find their way back onto the racetrack. Zach Hollinger still on the Speedway Cordoza as well. So we're going to see, it looks like we might have 20 or 21 cars left out there. We will see when this is over. But right now we're going green flag again here on lap number 11. Einstein, Rogers, Smith. Rogers down to the bottom of the racetrack, going to slide it in front of Smith. They 1 and 2. Smith crosses him back over off of turn number 2, but it's Rogers going to hang on to it a little further back. We're 3 wide back here. You see the 73 of Moody on the bottom of the racetrack. Here comes the 7 of Smallfelt trying to make his way up to the front of the field. But up a little bit in front of that, there's the 90 of Royer. Royer involved in a caution just a few laps ago. He's all the way back up to 6th. Your leader is still Bryce Einstein. Matt Rogers right there behind him. Bowen Smith in 3rd. Going to make us a little farther back and forth, and it's Royer now to 5th. Tanner Pettit has made his way up to 6th, and we've got caution once again here on lap number 13. And this looks like it might be your pole sitter, the 51 of Corey Edmond. But Edmond is going to find his way involved in this caution. This is caution number 4, if I'm counting correctly. See a bunch of drivers making their way down pit road to get some repairs. Let's see what happens here to the 51. He's got Royer right there behind him. Oh, and Royer tries to go down underneath them, just misjudges a little bit, catches the rear bumper of the 51, and around goes Corey Edmond down the front straightaway. We are under caution one more time. The SGR replay. All right, Bryce Einstein still out in front of this race. He's going to have a halfway point. We got 13 down, 12 to go. Rogers in 2nd. My name's Chris Murphy here on DRSN. Thank you so much for choosing to spend your evening with us. We've got more action coming your way this week. Tomorrow night at 9 o'clock Eastern, we're going to be back for the Jocos Wild 30 second night of the 9th Annual Kings Royal Wednesday night. We're also back at 9 o'clock Eastern. All events at 9 o'clock Eastern for the Kings Royal Wednesday night. It's the night before the Kings Royal, and then Thursday, the 40-lap feature to crown another king here for the Dirty Old Bastards. Can Mason Hannagan make it 3? He won in 2022. He won last year. Can he also pick up the win here in 2026? But right now we've got to settle here our first feature of the Double Down Showdown. Bryce Heinstein, Matt Rogers side by side. Heinstein with a jump down into turn number 1. Bowen Smith with a great jump. He is going to move up into second. Here comes Trevor Royer on the outside in third. Rogers down to the bottom of the racetrack. Dominguez now and Tanner Pettit. Pettit going to get around Dominguez for 6th. Still Heinstein up in front. Bowen Smith now to second. Trevor Royer's worked his way back to third. We got both of last year's winners in this same race. Royer in third, Pettit back to 5th. Rogers separating them right there in the 4th spot. This is your top 5. Pettit's going to make a move to the bottom of the racetrack, and caution is out once again. And it looks like it might be the 44 of Adam Buchanan, as we see the the roof wing gone off of the 44. Let's see if we can see what happened here to Adam down the front straight. We've got 3 cars right there behind him, 3 wide. He's underneath the 51. And it looks like contact with the 22 of Villigren. Villigren was making it basically 5 wide right there. Took a big dive down to the inside. Contact with Buchanan. Buchanan's trying to get it gathered back up. They're going to make contact again for the 2nd time. So that is going to be our latest caution flag here at Eldora. As we've got 16 down, 9 laps left to go in this first 25-lap feature. More action coming your way this week here on DRSN. Tomorrow night after the Joker's Wild, we'll bring it here at 11 o'clock Eastern for the Western Racing League Truck Series. Wednesday night, we've also got some coverage of the Smoking Thunder ARCA Series. Sager will be bringing you coverage on that at 8 o'clock Eastern on Wednesday night. Thursday night, we've got the Victory Lane Cars Late Model Series. But we've got to settle things first here. The pace track, we're going to go around one more time here. It looks like, actually, we're coming off of turn 2, that's why. We got about another half a lap to go. We'll get back to racing action. But Friday night, also, we got the Half Decent Racing League Xfinity Series. Lots of action coming your way this week here on DRSN. Do not miss out. But we got 10 laps left to go here in this one. It's Bryce Heinstein, Bowen Smith, Trevor Royer, Heinstein bring us to the line. Green flag in the air once again. 9 laps left to go here at Eldora. Down the back straight, Bowen Smith's got to look to the inside. Now he's going to go back to the outside. Royer takes a look to the inside. Can't quite clear Bowen Smith, but that's going to allow Pettit and Rogers to make their way around. Royer took a chance, went down to the middle of the racetrack. He's going to lose 2 spots. Rogers now takes a look to the inside. That's going to let Pettit get by on the outside of the racetrack. Pettit now to 3rd. Rogers with a nice slide up the corner into 3 and 4. That really worked out for him. I thought he was going to lose some ground right there. Rogers hangs on to 3rd up front. It is still Bryce Heinstein and Bowen Smith. Heinstein makes a little contact with the outside wall. I'm sure that wing's just a visual glitch, which it is. And here comes Bowen Smith back at him. Bowen just waiting for his opportunity. He's hanging back about 0.2 of a second, about 3 car lengths on the racetrack. Bowen Smith takes a look to the inside, can't quite get up alongside of Heinstein. Rogers with a good run. He had a really good run into the 1 and 2 right there, but makes some contact with the outside wall. He is going to lose some ground. Pettit now to 4th. Trevor Royer falls back to 5th. Across the line, 4 laps left to go for Bryce Heinstein, looking to pick up the win. Would be his first win here in the Double Down Showdown. Bowen Smith falling back a little bit now. It's about 7 car lengths by the eyeball test. It's about 0.3 of a second. Rogers falls back to the clutches of Pettit. Pettit tries to fight his way around the 26 for 3rd. We'll keep an eye up front right now. It's about 0.3 of a second. Here comes Pettit. Takes a look to the inside of Rogers into 3 and 4. He is going to slide up across the nose of the 26. But Matt Rogers able to cross him over off the corner. We got a little traffic up here in our leaders. Bowen Smith's going to get into the back of Heinstein. Bryce Heinstein had moved down the racetrack to clear the lap traffic. Bowen Smith just barely touched the back bumper of the 54. That turns around. Bowen Smith, white flag in here. 1 more lap left to go for Bryce Heinstein. Tanner Pettis made his way to 2nd, but he's about 0.9 of a second away. Here comes Bryce Heinstein. He's going to come across the line here off of turn number 4. It is going to be Bryce Heinstein with the win. Tanner Pettit 2nd. Trevor Royer is going to come across in 3rd. Matt Rogers a little farther back here with no nose ring in the car is going to come across in 4th. Josh Pickle is going to be in 5th. And it's Zach Hollinger, Ryan Thompson, Chris Lynn, Jack Young, Larry Moody, and Bowen Smith, unfortunately, was second with about a lap and a half left to go, is going to come home back in 12th. So let's bring up our full results here. Tyler Henselman, thanks for checking in out there, buddy. Good to see you. Usually doing some race control here for us, so thank you so much. All right, let's get our results here for heat race, or excuse me, for main event number 1, as we got fireworks going off in the background. So the winner of the first 25 laps of the Double Down Showdown is going to be Bryce Einstein, bringing home the victory. Second goes to Tanner Pettit. Trevor Royer, so Tanner and Trevor won both these races last year, so we're going to have 2 different winners here tonight. Matt Rogers in 4th, Joshua Pickle 5th, Zach Hollinger 6th, Ryan Thompson 7th, Chris Lynn, Jack Young, Larry Moody rounded our top 10, and it's Corey Edmond in 11th, Bowen Smith 12th, Tony Dominguez, David Baker, and David Smallfelt ran out the top 15. And it's JP Smith in 16th, Landon Cardoza 5 laps down in 17th, Adam Buchanan 18th, Ross Corntaw in the 19th spot, and then we go a little further back to Anthony Villigren there in 20th, William Hobart 21st, Alex Rosnicki 22nd, Austin Griffey comes home in 23rd, Zach McLaughlin 24th, Ryland Gray 25th, Peyton Overmeyer, Richie Gaines, Dustin, Big Money, Sergeant Aiden Stoll, and Mason Hannagan. That rounds out our top 30. And we're going to get right out of this one because we're going to get right on to another one. So don't leave us yet. We're going to be back for the second feature, but they've got to set up a new server as we look down here on Eldora Speedway. So they're going to set up another server, get us ready for the main event, second main event. We're going to step away for just a minute. Stay here live on the channel. We're going to come back as soon as they have everything set up. As a matter of fact, we'll just waste a little time here looking at our heat race results as well earlier. So the winner of heat race number 1 was Corey Edmond. Heat race number 2 was Peyton Overmeyer. Heat race number 3 was Tanner Pettit. Richie Gaines, the third one, picked up the win in heat race number 4, and then it was Trevor Royer bringing home the heat race win in heat race number 5. So, as I said, we're going to get another server set up here right away. We'll get right back here. Another 25 laps coming your way. So hang on with us, and we'll be right back in hopefully less than about 5 minutes. We'll see you then. You know, we're gonna come back here in just a second. Sorry. All right. We're gonna come back and grab a couple. We didn't realize a couple of guys were in the waiting room with us for us. So let's see here. Second place. Hey Tanner, are you there? Hey, sorry, I did not see you jump in to the voice chat there. I thought we were gonna move on. So thank you so much for jumping in. It kind of gives us a chance to kill a little time while they're setting up that second server. Man, kind of up and down throughout that event. Kind of tell us how, from your seat, how it went for that 25 laps of action.
Yeah, started second, had high hopes going into it. And I don't know, just with turn 1, I think third slid me, and I got off the curb all weird and kind of resulted in me getting my teammate, and it was just a bad deal. But I think we lost both wings like 3 times and had like 8 minutes of repairs at one point. And yeah, to still finish second is pretty cool.
Yeah, lucky we had enough cautions to get all 8 minutes worth of repairs done, and the cautions usually don't last that long. But you know, kind of tell us how the track was there with a little bit of the chaos that was going on with the servers and everything like that. We didn't really get a chance to really look at the racetrack, but looking down on it now, and the view we're looking at, it looked like it got pretty slick. Looked like the both ends of the racetrack were a little bit different lines for you.
Yeah, definitely. With their update a few months ago, it's been kind of around the top, and that track it was really hard to get a slider across just with how quick the cushion was. It got pretty treacherous there at the end too. Just felt like I I had 8 minutes of repairs, then I'd get a couple minutes done. I'd wreck again. I'd be back to 8 minutes, and I don't know. I think I got it down to like 5 or 6 minutes, and just kind of got the wing straight and called it good. And luckily, we were able to salvage a decent finish.
Well, we got 3 more nights of action. I assume you're going to be here all week long.
That's the goal. I'm not 100% sure, but I should be here every night.
Well, we've got so tomorrow night is the tomorrow night's Joker's Wild 30. And Wednesday night is the night before, and then the Kings Royal on Thursday night. We hope to see you all here. So, a few of the Tandem, I expected to see a few of the other Tandem Pettit Racing drivers here with us tonight. It looks like a few of the guys just weren't able to make it.
Yeah, if you guys weren't able to make it tonight, and we got Ryan in the next race here. We'll see how he does from the back after he unfortunately got wrecked in his heat race. So it will be fun to watch him go through the field, and just like to shout out everybody that supports my website and the team, and I'd like to thank Jimmy P. Mac Tools, 1425 Photography, CD Cinematography, Trackside Collective, Lake Carrick Racing, Ethan Johnson for all the help in the late model side of things, Simrat Market, you for putting on the broadcasts, Chris for putting on this awesome league. Even though the servers got messed up, it's still a lot of fun simulating the format.
Yeah, iRacing really needs to help us out. Let us a little more flexibility on these dirt shows. It would be nice.
Yeah, I host up races here and there, and I can't figure out that UI either. It's so confusing.
All right, brother. Well, good luck the rest of the week, and I'm sure we're going to talk to you more before this thing's over with.
Hopefully. Thank you. I appreciate it.
All right, brother. Take care. All right. It looks like Bryce got the notice we were actually going to do some interviews. Bryce, are you there?
Yeah, I gotcha.
There you go. Your mic's breaking up just a little bit there. All right. So I will try to clarify things. We're going to be calling your name all week long. I'm saying your last name is Heinstein.
Hallenstein. Yep, that's close enough.
Hallenstein. All right, we're gonna try to remember that.
Yes,
all right. Hey, man, congratulations on the victory tonight. Your first Double Down win. Kind of tell us how it played along to get yourself to the front. It looked like quite a challenge out there tonight.
Yeah, I'm gonna be honest. I was gifted that one right off the start. Tanner got slid early and had to come down off the cushion, and I was gonna float the middle because I figured it was gonna be a train wreck, and made contact with him. It's super unfortunate. He's been super good to me here and helping me just get better on the sim, and so I hated to see that for him. Was really excited to see him drive back to second, but I'm also kind of been in the rut myself, and so you'll take them when you can get them, and so I was pretty happy to pull that one off tonight.
It looked like Bowen might have had a shot at you there at the end. You guys got into lap traffic right there, and it looked like you had to check up just a little bit, and Bowen might have caught the back bumper of your car there a little bit. Did it upset the car at all, or?
Yeah, no, I felt him get in the back of me. The guy was up there on the cushion. You had a guy float in the middle. There wasn't much room to cut down. There's just so much slick, and so just trying to be patient. And I don't really know the gap that I had on Bowen, and so, unfortunate deal for him. But also in that kind of racing on that slick of a track, you got to be patient. There's some of these guys that just don't ever seem to get that. So it is what it is at that point.
It looked like it slicked up pretty good out there, but it looked like the cushion was really the place to be, especially through 1 and 2. So let's talk about the next 3 nights of the week. We've got more action coming. What we got? 3 more nights of action. Tomorrow night's the Joker's Wild 30. What are you expecting out through the rest of the week here?
Work permitting, I plan to be here the next 3 nights and just try to see if we can't find the top 3 spots one more time and come back to the broadcast room. I think the way Chris runs this deal and the way the track shapes up, it should make for some really good racing. Always pulls a lot of cars, and it should be a good week.
That should be a lot of fun. We're really looking forward to it. It's really excited to be here for our first. We covered quite a few of the DBO races, or the DOB races, but really excited to be here for one of our big specials. So congratulations, man. Just a great run out there. You don't always have to be the fastest. Sometimes you just got to be the luckiest and be in the right place at the right time. And you definitely did that tonight, brother. You come home with the win here. It's a great way to start off the week.
Yeah, absolutely, man. Lady Luck was definitely on my side. Just want to give a shout out to the TPR guys for helping me out tremendously the past probably 5-6 months. Just making me faster, get me on rails, and I think it showed tonight what those sets can do. If you haven't checked them out on the website, it's the place to go.
All right, brother. Have yourself a good rest of the week, and we'll talk to you again.
Yeah, appreciate you for the broadcast, and thanks to Chris for putting this on.
You bet. All right, let's get third place finish. Hopefully they haven't started the server. Hopefully somebody's out there letting us know what's going on. Let's take a look here in their chat. We got Trevor. Trevor, are you there, buddy?
Yep, I'm here, Chris.
All right. At the same time, I'm trying to make sure we don't miss the server for the second race. But, man, you look good all night long. A little bit of kind of in the wrong place at the wrong time a couple of times. You had to go back through this field, charge your way back up to third. Kind of tell us how it looked from the seat of the 90.
Yeah, it was pretty chaotic. Yeah, I got up in the second there early in the feature and was just kind of I forget who that was in front of me. Corey, I think. Yeah, he was setting a pretty good pace, so I was kind of just riding around, waiting for the track to get a little slower, and then he got in the wall in that one restart, and I didn't have too much damage, but I did have wing damage on my top wing, so that's why I went in and get it fixed because I knew I'd be a sitting duck if I didn't. And then yeah, through all the other carnage going on through the rest of the race, I was able to work my way back up. Got up to third. There was a point going into 4 where Bryce and Bowen, they got a little crossed up going into 4, so I kind of moved down to not get involved in whatever was going to happen there, and I kind of just got freight trained, and then I was playing catch up to the rest of that feature. And then yeah, Pettit threw a bomb on Matt coming to the line, and I kind of threw it in there to kind of like box Matt in so he couldn't cross, and I think we made some contact, and it was like 2 to go, I think that was, and yeah, I was able to come home third. Wasn't the fastest, didn't feel like I was the fastest car out there in the feature, but I was pretty close, so we'll just try to work on it and see what the rest of the week brings us.
Yeah, excited. We got exciting nights coming up the rest of the week. It's going to be a nice long. I'm really excited to be here to cover this event. But kind of tell you, last year you picked up a win here in one of these Double Down Showdowns. I think you've yet to pick up a win on the Kings Royal. How you looking for your chances on Thursday night in dethroning Mason Hannagan?
Man, Mason's my teammate, so I would love to be able to dethrone Mason. But yeah, I last year, honestly, I felt like I had better pace last year at this point of the year, and felt good all week up until Thursday, and just missed on the setup, or I was overdriving the car. But Thursday I was a mess on Thursday, so hoping to just make the show and maybe move forward a little bit, depending on where I start. I know the Kings Royal has a weird format, so yeah, with the amount of cars and talent that shows up to these races, my main goal is just make the A, and then whatever happens after that is just try to make the best of it.
Well, good luck. Congratulations on a good run. You had to fight your way back up there, but come on with the podium. Good luck, whatever goes on the rest of the week, and hopefully we get a chance to talk to you again. But before you get out of here, anybody else you want to give a thanks to?
Yeah, just my team, Black Diamond Motorsports, Ultimate Dirt TV, 19 Designs, Tim's Dirt Track Simulators. Just everyone on our team. We're pretty upbeat team. We like to joke around and make fun of each other. So keep it light and just try to do the best we can. And appreciate you having me on.
All right, brother. We will see you tomorrow night. Good luck the rest of the week, and have a good rest of the night. Don't forget to come back and get on DRSN and watch the second feature.
Will do. Thank you very much.
All right, brother. Have a good night. Yep. All right. That is going to round out our interviews here for the top 3 here in the first of 2 25-lap main events. We're going to jump over. We're going to step away for just a moment. We're going to be right back in probably about 5 to 10 minutes at the most. Do not leave. Come back. If you did leave, I'm sorry you're going to miss this one, but get back in here. We'll be right back in about 5 minutes for the second 25-lap feature.
The Collateral Damage Sports Network overlays can take your broadcast to the next level. Whether you want to kick off the show with our all-new infographics or wrap it up with our Race Results 2.0 with podium and superlatives. In the race, dive in to see who got on and off pit road the fastest, and then use our head-to-head plug-in package to know exactly when your driver will catch the leader. For your onboard cameras, you've got to have the tower telemetry. Then for the rest of your broadcast, keep up with all the action with alerts for penalties, off-tracks, and other events, stage break grids, alternative leaderboards, special event plugins like the Indy 500 qualifying, and a ton more to keep up with all your favorite drivers from start to finish, from country to country, and pull your standings directly from SimRacer Hub.
and I've been talking now for a minute with the mic off. But thanks again for being here. We are back live. Warm-ups underway here, getting the track ready for the second main event, the second 25-lap feature of the Double Down Showdown. Looks like we got 19 out of our 26 drivers with us so far, trying to get a few of the other drivers into the lobby here with us, get us a good full field of 26 cars. Bryce Heinstein picked up the victory in the first feature. Tanner Pettit and Trevor Royer was your podium finishers for the A main number 1. We're going to get going here for A main number 2. See if we can just get a bunch of the drivers in here with us. We've got, it looks like we've got about, according to race control, probably about 3 or 4 minutes of working the track in. And we will go green flag on our second of 2 25-lap features. Right now, fastest car on the racetrack here in warm-ups is David Smeel Jr. Jay Schaefer right there, back there with KD Burrow. Third right now in warm-ups. This track is starting to come in for the feature. Take a look here at the 8 of Michael Sheridan. Had a little trouble in his heat race. See if he can get it back together, group back up here for the feature tonight. Don't forget, we're back tomorrow night with the second night of the 9th Annual Kings Royal, the Joker's Wild 30. We'll get started once again at 9 o'clock Eastern. Ryan Avila out here in the 49. Tanner Pettit racing number 49. His teammate Tanner Pettit brought him second in the first feature. Can Ryan's got to start towards the back of this. But it looks like we've only got 19 cars on the timing and scoring right now, so I think that's going to be our 19 cars to start this feature. Race control just looking to get the track work in a little bit more. One thing we didn't get a chance to bring you during the first feature is we got a new little toy that we like to play with, brought to us by Radio Replay. It allows us to capture the voice chat during the event of the drivers and then play it back for you. So here's just a little taste what that's going to look like. Tony Dominguez here in warm-ups.
Sorry, Chris.
So just a little bit. Let's see if we can find something here. So we'll try to bring it. There's usually so much action going on the racetrack. We don't usually have a chance to get up and do that here for the on the dirt track races, but we use it a lot during the NASCAR. That also reminds me, if you've got a league or a special event you're looking for some coverage, we do everything from mini stocks to full endurance races. Reach out to us. We can get you taken care of. Get you here up on the channel. We've got a full slate of events this week with the Dirty Old Bastards Kings Royal all 4 nights, Monday through Thursday. But if you're looking for some coverage, reach out to us. Send us a message on the YouTube. You can find our Facebook page at DRSN. But reach out to us. We've got, we can probably get you taken care of just about every single night. We usually cover Saturday nights with the JWR iRacing Super Speedway Money Series. Not this weekend. They're going to be off this Saturday night, so we'll hopefully be back with that one for the next following Saturday. Some great super speedway racing. We got some 410 action coming your way. We have been just so excited to get on here and cover this event here. It's been on our calendar all year long since Chris Roberts reached out to us about it. 4 nights of 410 sprint car action. Who doesn't want to be here for that? And we really appreciate you taking your time to sit up there in the YouTube chat with us here. Nobody picked Bryce to win that first feature. As a matter of fact, nobody really picked. Let me see here. Nobody really picked anybody in the first one. So let's hear, once we get the lineup going, let's hear your picks up there in the chat for the winner here in heat race number 2 as we take a look here at the 41 of Kyle DeBurrow out here on the speedway. Jay Schaefer in the number 3. Look for Schaefer to have a good run here tonight. Right now, second here in our practice session. Ryan Avila in the 49 working that setup in right now. 4th fast time. He's going to take a tumble down into turn number 1. Collect the 1 of Case as well in this one. So not a surprise we see incidents there in practice, but it looks like they're going to go ahead and jump time on us here. So it looks like we're going to get right to our feature event. 25 laps of action coming your way. We'll get you the lineup here in just a moment as soon as cars start getting up on the grid. And in an instant, it goes from daylight to dark here at Eldora. Lights are on, as we can see our drivers making their way down to pit road, or excuse me, onto the front straightaway for the grid. So we're going to see if we can get our starting lineup here. All right, so on the pole in the 18 for the start of this 25-lap feature, the second of main event of the Double Down Showdown, and it's going to be Peyton Overmeyer to his outside. The 211 of Richie Gaines, the third. Aiden Stoll will start in third. Jay Schaaf will start to his outside in fourth. Back to row number 3, starting fifth. It's Robert Satterfield and Spencer Putney. Row number 4, starting in 7th. It's Parker Leak and Shane Gallo in the 21. The SGR sponsor here of the event. Number 21 of Shane Gallo will start in 8th. Back to 9th is Jeremy Childers and Greg Robinson. Round out our 19 car field. Out of the 26, 19 drivers showed up. A-Case will start 11th. Michael Sheridan in 12th. Stephen Hassett will roll off the line in 13th. To his outside, Shane Lobos will start in 14th. Kyle DeBurrow will start in 15th with David Schmiel Jr. to his outside in 16th. Back there in 17th, it's Chris Sabesky. Watch for these drivers here in this ninth row to come to the front. Sabesky there in 17th was your fast timer here tonight. Ryan Avila is going to start 18th there in the 49, and then a little further back in the 19th spot, it is Chris Schaefer. That is your 19 cars starting our second 25-lap feature here at Eldora for the Dirty Old Bastards 9th Annual Kings Royal to wrap up night number 1. The one thing we are guaranteed, a new winner here on the Double Down Showdown. Previous winners, Trevor Royer and Tanner Pettit, finished 2nd and 3rd in that first feature. So we will have a first-time winner here out of this main event. All right, looks like the lights are out on the pace track. It looks like we're going to go green this time around. We'll see if they throw the green flag or not. Truck's going to pull in, and we're going to go green flag in the air here. Peyton Overmeyer with about an 8-car length advantage into turn number 1. Aiden Stoll to move up to second. We're 3 wide. Richie Gaines up on the outside. Schaaf now is going to follow Gaines by on the outside. Right down underneath him, it's Parker Leak. Parker Leak contact. It looks like Schaaf's going to go around. Jay Schaaf going to lose the nose wing, and it looks like somebody else upside down the front straightaway. It's a 21 of Shane Gallo. Gallo had a good starting spot, but he is going to get caught up in his first caution as Overmeyer hanging on to the lead right here. A little contact there. It looked like it might have been between Schaaf and Parker Leak. We'll go back and take a quick look at it here. See if we can see what happened. Let's get zoomed out here just a little bit. So it looks like his contact's already happened a little further back. So Schaaf 3 wide right here on the outside. I think that's the 11 of Leak. They get together. He gets into the outside wall. Watch Gallo in the 21. He gets upside down the front straightaway. So caution number 1 coming out here early on lap number 2. Actually, I think that was just lap number 1. We're getting back to green flag race in the Steinman Gallo replay. Caution out for the first time. We did get 1 lap in. We got 24 laps left to go. Overmeyer, Stoll, Gaines. That's your top 3. All right, let's see. We got a few people live on the channel. Let's chime into the chat. Who do you think is going to bring home the win right there? Can Ryan Avila come from the back of this? Can Chris Sabesky, our fast timer of the night? He's already up to 12th. He's already up 5 spots. Can they make their way to the front of this field? Peyton Overmeyer started on the pole. He led lap number 1. He will bring us to the restart. This time by, we'll see the iRacing pace truck make that left-hand turn down pit road. Green flag will fly this time around. Overmeyer on the throttle early. Green flag is out. Overmeyer, Stoll. Overmeyer to the bottom of the racetrack. Stoll way up on the outside. Gaines is going to try to get around Stoll. Stoll with a great run off the cushion in turn number 2. Overmeyer back down to the bottom. They're going to run the slider through 3 and 4 off the top of the racetrack. Overmeyer and Stoll down into turn number 1. They're both up on the cushion, both ends of the racetrack. Let's see if they change the line in 4. They are. They're going to go down to the bottom, run the slider through 3 and 4. Once again, it is Overmeyer, Stoll, and Gaines to take a little further back. Look at Sabeskate. Where's Sabeskate's charge through the field? He's now up to 10th, and he's right there battling with Ryan Avila. So Avila and Scapesake charging through the field together. They're respectively running 10th and 11th right now. Ryan Avila really making the bottom of the racetrack work. He's going to look underneath Steven Hassett. Move up to 9th, 3 wide right there. Avila, Sabeskate, and Hassett. Up front, let's take a look up front. It's still Overmeyer. Stoll starting to close in. About a 1/10 of a second now. It's about 2 car lengths into 1 and 2. Aiden Stoll looking for the lead. Let's see if he takes a slider into 3 and 4. No, he loses momentum right off at 2. Running that slider on is going to make it pretty tough, so he's going to look for a way around here through 1 and 2. Again, we check back here with Avila and Sabeskate. Avila now up to 8. Right up in front of him, we got caution once again, and it looks like it might be involving Case. In the 1, it also looks like Shape's going to make his way down pit road for some further repairs. Gallo still down pit road. It looks like Shane Gallo might be out of this one. Oh, come on, Reptar, you got to pick somebody. You can't just you can't cop out on that one. All right, let's see if we can see what happened here to Case. Up on the racetrack by himself. It looks like he's going to catch the outside wall. The 49 Avila down there underneath of him. And Case just gets into the wall coming off a 2. He's going to ride the fence upside down in the SGR number 1. So that is our second caution flag here in feature number 2. We'll get back to live action. All right, Aiden Stoll has made his way to the point. It was Aiden Stoll, Richie Gaines, Peyton Overmeyer. So in the time we were kind of looking back at that incident, Overmeyer lost the lead to Stoll and Gaines. So Overmeyer back to 3rd. Now Parker Leak up to 4th. Ryan Avila up 11 spots now. He's up from 18th to 7th. Sabeskate right there with him. Up 17th to 9th. Trying to complete their charge through the field. But up front right now, it's Richie Gaines, the 3rd in the number 11. Stoll with a fantastic jump. Gaines sleeping up on the outside. He's going to lose 4 spots here. Overmeyer back to 2nd. Leak now to 3rd. Gaines makes a run back on the outside. He's going to find a way around Putney. Ryan Avila is still down. Contact right there. Putney, and it looked like Satterfield in the 55 makes a little contact. We're going to stay green. Avila now to 4th. Out in front, it is Aiden Stoll. Aiden Stoll set and sail. He's about 3/4 of a second out in front of Peyton Overmeyer. Peyton back to 2nd. Parker Leak in 3rd. Ryan now back up to 4th. Avila is up 14 spots. Satterfield and Putney's 5th and 6th right there. Satterfield's going to slide up in front of Putney. That's for 5th. Take a look up to the front. Here comes Avila. And Avila taking a look to the inside of Leak. Leak makes some contact to the outside. Well, they're going to make contact down the back straightaway. Somehow, Ryan Avila was able to drive through the spinning car of Parker Leak. Parker got into the outside wall, came down the racetrack, and we're going to be under caution. We'll take a quick look at that, but it looked like Parker Leak made contact with the outside wall, came down the racetrack, and then the 49er rail, and Ryan Avila got to him. It looks like, fortunately, for Ryan, the car looks like it might have glitched through, maybe taking a little bit of damage. We'll see if we can take a really close look at the 49. We don't see anything visually. We're going to go back here and see if we can see what happened here. And again, my rewind time is not what it should be. So we're going to back it up here. So we're going to see Leak up on the outside of the racetrack. Ryan's taking a look to the bottom, coming off a 2. And Parker just crosses it over off the wall, comes down the racetrack across the nose of the 49. Unfortunately for Parker Leak, he is going to get turned around. He's going to collect the 55 at Satterfield as well. So Satterfield gets upside down. We didn't see that live time. But Robert Satterfield upside down involved in this one as well. So we've got 11 down, 14 to go. Aiden Stoll out in front. Aiden started back in 3rd. We'll get back to live time here. All right, so Aiden started in third up to the front here. Peyton Overmeyer started on the pole. Now running in second. Avila, our biggest mover of the race, up 15 spots. Started back in 18th. He's all the way up to third. Ryan Avila's found a little something on the bottom of the racetrack. Let's see if he can finish off his charge to the front. A little further back, we see Chris Sabske has also been up 11 spots. He's now up to 6th. His charge is not over with. But right now, we're going to go back to green flag. Well, green flag in here once again. Aiden still on the throttle. Avila already around Overmeyer for second. And look at Ryan Avila down there on the bottom of the racetrack. Green flag out here with 13 to go halfway through. Stoll out in front. Avila's now made his way to second. He's only got one more car left in front of him up on the cushion through 1 and 2. Battle back here for 4th and 5th. It's Putney. Here comes Chris Sabske. Caution out on the speedway once again. And it looks like it might be the 29 of Lobos, as he's already jumped down to pit road. So right as Ryan Avila was getting ahead of steam up, caution out on the speedway once again, as we're waiting for the pace truck to come out. All right, take a quick look here and see if we can see what happened. See if we can find Lobos here on our... I believe that's who was involved in this one. See him in the middle of the racetrack on the 20. He's going to slide up the racetrack, make contact. So Gaines is stuck a nose to the outside. He thought he had a lane. But Lobos drifted up the racetrack across the nose of the 11, and he takes a tumble down into 3 and 4. Somehow the wing stayed on there visually, but... All right, we're halfway through this. We got 12 down, 13 to go. Aiden Stoll, Peyton Overmeyer. Actually, Avila should be inside. Did they give Overmeyer a second? It looks like maybe they did. We'll see how this lines up. It looks like Ryan Avila is going to start this restart in 3rd. Spencer Putney 4th. Chris Sabske there in 5th. Jeremy Childs up 3 spots. He's up to 6. Michael Sheridan up 5 to 7th. And it's Kyle DeBurrow with a good run up 7 spots. Newcomer here to the Dirty Old Bastards. He's up to 8th. David Schmiel Jr. up to 9th. All right, green flag in here once again. Aiden Stoll. About 4 or 5 car lengths back to Peyton Overmeyer. Ryan Avila needs to get by Overmeyer quick if he's going to have a chance to catch Stoll. Stoll was setting a blistering pace early on in this one. And there goes Avila down to the bottom of Overmeyer into 3 and 4. Going to make a slider off of 4. Fantastic move right there. Ryan Avila now to 2nd. Overmeyer just had no defense for that. Was not even able to cross him over. As we're up on the cushion in 1 and 2. Now Stoll riding the rim. 3 and 4 as well. Avila right there with him. Overmeyer at 3rd. Putney now up to 4th. And Chris Sabske has found his way to 5th. Take a look at your leader, Aiden Stoll. He's about 7/10 of a second out in front. Ryan Avila now in 2nd, trying to find it. Did Ryan use up his stuff coming through the field? Does he have anything left? We got 9 laps left to go. 8 laps as we come across the line. Stoll now still about 7/10 of a second. As you can see the distance right there between the 49 and the 72. About 6.3 seconds. Ryan just not able to close the gap. 7 to go. He has got to find something else on the racetrack if he is going to find a way around Aiden Stoll for the lead. We look a little further back. Here's Jeremy Childers up to 6th. Sabske takes a look up underneath Putney. This is for 4th. Sabske started back in 17th. He's up 12 up to 5th. Can he find a way around Putney for the 4th spot? Action a little further back. We've got DeBurrow on the bottom of the racetrack. Gaines right down the middle. Gaines has already lost the nose wing. A little more damage there on the 11. Ryan Avila, mistake there off of 2. That lets Peyton Overmeyer reel him in. So Ryan Avila is going to lose about a half a second now to Aiden Stoll. 4 laps left to go across the line. And this is Aiden Stoll's race to win right. He's going to come up on some traffic. It's the 3 of Jace Shafe, the next car. But Jace looks like he's going to stay down on the bottom of the racetrack. He's going to let Stoll come across the top. Jace goes a lap down. Sabske still trying to reel in Putney for 4th. Going to take a look to the inside through 3 and 4. Does not have enough momentum. He's going to stay back there in 5th. 2 laps left to go across the line for our leader, Aiden Stoll. Looking to bring home the win here in the second Double Down Showdown 25-lap feature. Last lap, white flag in the air for Aiden Stoll. Less than a half a mile to go for the number 7 to bring home the victory here tonight. Aiden Stoll down on the bottom of the racetrack through 3 and 4. Comes off the top of 4 across the line. The 7 of Aiden Stoll will bring home the win. Ryan Avila to 2nd. Peyton Overmeyer 3rd. Spencer Putney hangs on to 4th. Chris Sabeskate 5th. Jeremy Childers in the 11th. In 6th, Michael Sheridan with a good run up to 7th. David Schmiel in 8th. Cal DeBurro there in 9th. Greg Robinson, Chris Schaefer, Stephen Hassett, and Jay Schaaf rounds out the cars that were left on the racetrack. That is your 13 finishers. We'll take a look at our full results here real quick. But right now it's Aiden Stoll going to drive his car up onto victory lane. Ryan Avila is going to park it there on the podium. So Aiden Stoll bringing home the win. Aiden is yet to win one of these features. This is his first feature win during Kings Royal Week here on Dirty Old Bastards. So he will be our second new winner here. As Bryce Heinstein picking up the win earlier. So let's see if we can find. First off, we'll take a look at the Discord, see if anybody's in there in the waiting room. Aiden Stoll is here with us. So let's get Aiden up here in the booth. Aiden, are you there, buddy? You got Chris in the booth.
Hello?
There you are. I got you now. Can you hear me?
Yes.
All right. Well, great run there, man. You started back there. You started in 3rd. You got to the front pretty early. Kind of tell us how the night went for your point. And the racetrack looked to change just a little bit. Kind of tell us how it was from the seat of the 72.
Yeah, that first half, just my main goal was to get by Peyton and Richie as fast as I possibly could. Yeah, I kind of wasted a little bit of time there on the top, but once I found that slider line of 3 and 4 and top 1 and 2, it was pretty set until I saw on one restart Ryan was getting up there 4th or 3rd or something like that. Then I knew I had to do something different, move up to the top and find a line to really pull away, and did just that.
Yeah, Ryan did a good job charging up through the field. I mean, I know you guys aren't running mirrors in the car, so you can't see him back there. But you had quite a good gap there at the end by about a second. But the track's going to change on us all week long. Tonight we saw it change. It looked like the top looked like the place to be, and then like you said, that slider line really came in 3 and 4. Well, what do you expect about the next 3 nights of racing here with the Dirty Old Bastards Kings Royal?
I think it'll go back to just straight top. With the server messing up, it would have been straight top in the other server, but obviously with a fresh track, just having to run it in, it's pretty different. So you're gonna kind of had to adjust there for a little bit, but I assume black all the way across and around the top.
Well, it looks like this. I'm looking at our past history. This looks like your first feature win here on any of the Kings Royal races here for the Dirty Old Bastards. I know you've won some other big races in your career, but kind of tell us, this week, this is one of the bigger events here for us on this, and especially in the Dirty Old Bastards on the sim as well. But kind of tell us what it would mean to pick up some more wins here throughout the week.
Oh yeah, huge. Even though I don't think there's any points or anything. Just if you can pick up any win in a league with guys like Ryan and all the TPR guys, unless you wreck them, it should be well deserved.
Well, we're going to go ahead and get you out of here for a night. We know it's been a long night here on here at Eldora on the sim, man. But before we get you out of here, anybody you want to give a shout out to, and anybody you want to give a shout out to before you get out of here tonight?
I just got to give a shout out to everybody over at Coast to Coast and Majority Speed Shop. Without them, it wouldn't be possible. And you for broadcasting, and the other Chris for putting the race on.
All right, brother. Well, good luck the rest of the weekend. I am sure we're going to talk to you more before it's over with, but have a good rest tonight, and we will see you tomorrow night back here for the Joker's Wild.
For sure, man. Thank you.
You betcha. All right, let's go ahead and it looks like we got Ryan up here in the waiting room as well. Ryan Avila, how you doing tonight, buddy?
Not too bad, yourself?
It has been a while since we've had a chance to talk. Good run out there tonight. I know you had a little bit of adventure there in the heat didn't quite go your way. You had to start dead last basically in this feature. You made your way up through the field. It looked like you found a little something on the bottom that other guys just weren't able to run.
Yeah, I felt really good on the bottom. Kind of got screwed over in the heat race, is what it is. Kind of just took it as it was, and just yeah, not too much I could have done there in the future once I got behind Aiden. He's really good at those type of tracks where it's like super rough, and I find myself I can't compete against him. So yeah, I got pretty lucky with the yellows and pretty unlucky when I got to him. Then there was none. So yeah, racing with all those guys and making my moves on the bottom was pretty fun though.
Yeah, it looked like you and Chris were kind of following each other back and forth there, coming up from the back of the field, but you were able to clear them. And once you got up to the front, man, did you have anything? Had you used up a little bit of your stuff? Did you think you had anything left to catch Aiden?
No, one lap I went and tried it a little too hard and see if I can catch him a little bit, and I kind of hopped it and stuffed in the fence, and I'm not sure if I got together with Peyton or not, but yeah, kind of ruined my run and just my ultimate chance at kind of catching him again. I mean, nothing I could have really done. Just kind of got unlucky in the heat race, and yeah, is what it is.
Well, we got 3 more nights of racing. I assume you're going to be here for all 3 nights.
Yeah, gonna try and run all of them.
Yeah. So what kind of talk about it. When you run an event like this, 4 nights of racing action. I know you guys have done a lot of this kind of stuff. You got basically the same 40 or 50 guys that are going to be here every night. Kind of tell us how you got this week planned out. Do you really even need to do any more practice at this point? Are you guys pretty much dialed in and ready to go?
Honestly, I joined the waiting list maybe 2 days ago, so I wasn't really prepared. I know Tanner likes running these events, and I think Kenny, he was just out tonight, wasn't home, but it's just fun. I've been taking a big goal break from iRacing, just haven't been enjoying it as much, and after the heat race, really wasn't enjoying it, and an 18-2 run kind of got me back into things. But yeah, with Tanner's help, it's I'm right back where I was. So yeah, I got to thank Chris for putting it on. Obviously, you for broadcasting and sitting here forever. It feels like, but yeah, it's a super fun night.
Well, man, good to see you back out here tonight. I'm glad to see you had a little fun. Hopefully, you have fun throughout the rest of the week. It's always a pleasure to watch you out there on the racetrack, especially trying to come from the back tonight. That was fun. Hopefully, we covered it well enough, man. But good luck throughout the rest of the week, and have yourself a great night. And we'll see you probably tomorrow night.
Sounds good. Thank you.
All right, brother. Have a good one. All right, we've also got Chris Roberts up here with us. Chris, are you there, buddy?
I'm here.
So, is your event, Dirty Old Bastards, putting on the 9th annual Kings Royal? Kind of tell us what we're expecting here for the rest of the week.
Well, kind of back to the usual format. So I know that one works tried and true. I've for 2 years have not figured this one out. So maybe next year, year 3 will be the charm. But back to the usual deal. Still got the draw misfortune to set up the heat race inverts. And then the top 2 from each heat race will go to the dash, where they will do a revenge redraw. So whatever number they pull, they have to give to somebody else. So will they be friendly or unfriendly to somebody to set the dash up? And then we got Joker's Wild 30, add an extra 5 laps on Wednesday, and then the big dance for 40 laps on Thursday night.
Well, and as we've talked all week long, you're making my job challenging with all these mix-ups, trying to get the lineups going. But tonight, iRacing didn't really do us any favors with the glitch right there. But like you said, maybe we need to just find something a little different. But we're able to muscle way through it. And the nice thing about it is, all these guys here that run with you are experienced enough. They've been through this enough. They know that the sim sometimes can be a little, what's the word I'm looking for? Maybe a little unforgiving, a little bit of challenging sometimes. So
yeah,
it was nice to see it would have been nice to see the full 26-car field there in that second feature, but 19 cars was a good show. That put on a good race, and I'm really looking forward to the Joker's Wild tomorrow night.
Yeah, that's I appreciate everybody who stayed. Very rarely do one of my special events run off with a glitch. I'm proud of myself and I pride myself in them running smoothly. They usually do, but you'll have that every now and then. But yeah, I mean it's gonna be wild. Probably 50 plus cars will show up each night for the next 3 nights. So that track's gonna get burned in. She's gonna be slick, and I mean hopefully everyone's all over the track, but it is Eldora. Usually they end up at the top. So we'll just see how it plays out. Will we have big old massive slider lines or people able to run elsewhere? Time will tell.
Well, as we talked with Ryan there, Ryan did find a little something on the bottom. We'll see if that works out for the rest of the week. But that slider line and top usually the place you want to be. But well, I just want to really say thank you for having us here. We're going to go ahead and get full results here before we get out of here for the night. Let's see if we can show the full results here for our second feature. Let's see here. Well, I'm trying to. Let's see if we can get over here and get the full results up from main event number 2. There we go. There is our result. Aiden Stoll coming home with the win. Ryan Avila with a great run from the back comes home in second. Peyton Overmeyer to third. Spencer Putney in fourth. A good run there for Spencer. Chris Sabske also came from the back. Our fast timer in qualifying here. He's going to come home there in fifth. Jeremy Childers in sixth. Michael Sheridan in seventh. David Schmill Jr. with a good run there in eighth. Kyle DeBurrow with his first night here with the Rodeo Bastards with a ninth place finish. Good job there for Kyle. Greg Robinson in 10th. Chris Schaefer 11th. Stephen Hassett, one lap down there in 12th. Jay Schaaf had a rough night. He comes home in 13th. Richie Gaines, the third, also started up towards the front of this thing. Did not have a great night for himself. He's going to come home in 14th, but we got a lot of racing this week to make up for it. Back there in 15th, it was Shane Lobos, 16th, Parker Leak. Robert Satterfield in 17th, and in AK's 18th, and Shane Gallo comes home 23 laps down there in 19th. So that's going to round out our 19-car field here for the second event here, the second main event here tonight of the Rodeo Bastards. We're just getting started. Do not forget this rest of this week. Be here. If you haven't subscribed to the channel yet already, do so now. Hit the notification button. You want to know whenever we're going live because we got more action coming your way this week. Tomorrow night, it is the Dirty Old Bastards' second night of the Kings Royal. The Joker's Wild 30 is going to be here at 9 o'clock Eastern. Wednesday night, we'll be back for the night before. 35 laps of action on that one, and then we finish it off Thursday night with 40 laps to crown another king. Can Mason Hannagan bring home his third win? Are we going to have a new victory, a new king here on Thursday night? It'll be a new victory, but it'll also be a new king at the same time. So we're going to go ahead and get out of here for the night. I want to say thank you all for joining us, sticking with us through the little glitch right there, but we're going to make up for it all week long. But some thanks for all of us here at DRSN. Thank you so much for choosing to spend your evening with us. I'm Chris Murphy saying keep it smooth, keep it smart, and if you can't do that, at least keep it entertaining for the folks at home like we did tonight. We're going to see you next time. Good night.